Welcome to Brand Awareness, Episode 3. I'm Brenda Weischer. I am a fashion writer, influencer. I run a fashion archive and I'm a consultant. I really feel like I should write down my intro because I'm confused by my own job titles. I don't want to lie to you guys. I recorded this episode this morning already and I just looked back at the footage and I'm always quite monotonous, but I was talking so slow. I think you could have played it by speed like 2.2x. I don't know what you say, and it would have been like normal pace. I had one coffee, but still I don't know, I was so tired and out of it. I just got back from Tokyo yesterday. Even though I flew business and slept the whole way, I don't know what I was doing. It was like not it. And I don't want to get coffee shamed. I'm like really, I think it's very millennial, like don't talk to me before I've had my coffee, but don't shame me. It's the only drug I have left in my life. Not that I relied on a lot of other drugs in my past, but like sometimes I watch these TikToks, like health TikToks that are about how bad coffee is for you. That's the one thing I'm not ready to give up. I do know that you shouldn't have coffee within the first hour of waking up for your, oh my god, this is like such half-ass knowledge, but for your, for your, I don't want to say anything wrong, for things to level out. And I don't do coffee in the first hour that I'm awake. I'm usually wake up and then take my dog out Summer for like half an hour in the park, and then I get home and then I drink my second glass of water. I'm really like, hot girls don't drink enough water. What's the joke? Yeah, I'm that person. And then I have my athletic greens and then some other shit, and then I have my coffee. But yeah, I don't know why I'm talking about my morning routine. Yeah, I just got back from Tokyo. It was amazing. I think I'm gonna do a whole Tokyo episode. I really want to do everything I bought in Tokyo, but truth be told, I did not unpack yet, and I don't know when I'm unpacking. I did bring up my suitcase from my car. I usually drive myself to the airport. I have a car in Berlin. And then, yeah, the downside of that is that I sometimes leave my suitcase in the car when I'm feeling a little bit lazy. I don't have, in my current apartment, it's a walk up, and I just didn't feel like doing that. I feel like, yeah, if you're the type of person who unpacks straight from the vacation or travel, I respect you so much. I also think it's a mix of self-discipline and, like, for example, I live by myself. I have no one else to hold me accountable, so I can leave the suitcase. I have a big apartment in another room and not look at it, which is really not helping me. What I did do though, I feel like I talked about this in another episode. I've developed this like fear of opening my letterbox. I don't know what's going on there, but I did bring up my letters from the past 10 days of not being home. I hope you're proud of me. If this like doesn't speak to you at all, you just don't have mental illness. Congratulations. I've developed this like fear of my like bad things being in my mailbox, and my logical thinking is not opening the letterbox. If you can't relate, then I don't know how to explain this. Anyways, packing is a whole Roman empire of mine. I religiously pack. I don't like to unpack, but I will not love packing. I find it very stressful, but I like to really come prepared. I don't love traveling. Like, I don't love getting to the destination, even though travel is a huge part of my life. So I'm taking a lot of steps for making travel easier for myself. Flying business, for example, is one of them. I feel like, I don't know if I should be talking about this because I think people love judging other people that they don't know about how they spend their money. And I used to be that person actually. I got over that a few years ago because even though it's super fun, I really believe that by what's the same as like negative gossip, by attaching yourself negatively to like money talk in general, I think you're not manifesting money for yourself. And I think it's often, money in general is such a taboo topic, and I don't really understand why. I think it's very hurtful for people with privilege to not speak about money and to gatekeep things, especially in a creative industry or like in an industry where everyone's a freelancer, like content creators, photographers, if no one speaks about their rates ever, that is creating such a gap between people. And I don't know, I don't find that helpful. So I used to be the person who would judge everyone about how they spent their money. And I think everyone has very different priorities for themselves. And I started traveling super early in my life. When I was in my early 20s working in retail, in Europe, it was a really like a time where travel all of a sudden got a lot more accessible. There were cheaper airlines like EasyJet, Ryanair, all of a sudden there was Airbnb. So I used to spend all my money on travel whenever, but not on the travel part necessarily. You know, flights are always like 50 euros and super cheap Airbnbs with my friends, but I had my entire travel budget for shopping, for example. And now that's changed a little bit also because, you know, my career, I adapted my love for fashion in a way of my career getting me fashion for free or even getting paid to promote fashion. So that chunk of my, as I also made more money, that chunk of my travel budget has become smaller, even though I still love shopping. And now the travel itself, because it gives me a lot of anxiety, I have the means to make the travel a little bit smoother for me. And I used to be the person that would be like, I would never spend money on a business flight. And my friend, I have a friend that's a little bit older than me and also a lot more successful than me. And she spoke to me about like 3 years ago when we were talking about spending money on flights, which I never used to do. And she was like, what you're paying for is not necessarily the comfort or the luxurious 8 hours of this flight, but you're paying to make your whole travel better. And I was like, I don't really get it, because I thought I would be sitting there on the plane to, I don't know, New York and calculate like how much I'm spending per minute with this crazy expensive flight. And she was like, no, you're getting there rested. Like you are not getting to your job or to your vacation exhausted because you were stressing about the plane ride or you were stressing about like not being able to sleep. And I was like, okay, that's a very different perspective, not seeing it as like, here's what I'm paying for these 8 hours, but here's what I'm paying for not being exhausted getting to the place. Here's what I'm paying for being able to work in a lounge. I don't know if this is even interesting to you guys. I don't want to like be the enabler for people overspending on flights. But to me, I slowly started sometimes investing in my own time. Maybe this is like gaslighting myself, but investing in my own time. And sometimes I treat myself to a business flight, which means I'm getting to the place more relaxed. But yeah, I think everyone has such different travel priorities. For example, something I don't like to spend money on is food, like crazy expensive dinners. Most of the time I don't love fine dining. I never feel comfortable in certain establishments. I don't feel comfortable with spending like 500 euros on a meal, which for some people is like totally normal. I don't like fine dining with like the 8-course dinner and it's very like stuck up and you don't actually really, I don't really enjoy this type of food. I love to eat healthy, but I, for example, like to have very simple meals. And of course I like nice places, but that is not somewhere where my budget goes, for example. And I used to stay in the tiniest Airbnbs with my friends because I used to quote unquote just sleep there. But now as my lifestyle has changed, I don't really go out, I don't drink, I don't do drugs. So it's not like I just am sleeping in the place. You know, when I'm on vacation, I go home a lot, I go home quite early. So I need to have some space. So by now I spend a lot more on accommodation and on the travel itself. Me on the plane yesterday, I don't know how everyone else is on planes. Like sometimes some people are sleeping, some people are just like snacking and watching movies. I usually travel by myself. It's a whole Roman empire. Sometimes I'm afraid of flying. I get better and worse. It goes through phases. Sometimes when there's a lot of turbulence, I'm really not enjoying myself. I just sit there on the plane. Yesterday was a 14-hour flight, Tokyo to Zurich. I love Swiss Air, by the way. And I watched a total of one movie, which was Willy Wonka. I can't watch anything scary or anything like action movie on the planes. And the rest, I'm just vibing. Like, I'm the person sitting there, like watching the 3D, like where the plane's going, like the world map. That's my entertainment. And then I'm just thinking. I don't know how. Like, my friends, sometimes when I don't travel alone, my friends just look at me, and after the flight is like, after we land, they were just like, "What were you doing? Like, you were just like staring at the wall." I like my thinking time when I'm on the plane. I don't know about anybody else. But yeah, I watched maybe like one movie on a 10-hour flight. So on the flight there, I watched Priscilla, and I was really disappointed, I have to say. I thought there would be sex and fashion, and there was neither. I don't know, that was really disappointing. I remember one time this is like years ago, but it just reminded me of that. I watched one of the, what are they called? I watched one of the 50 Shades of Grey movies, and I illegally streamed it at home. I was like, this is gonna be so hot. Like, I'm like so excited for this film. I illegally streamed it from a South Korean website. Also, I was like super tired. I don't even know why I watched this movie, but I was like, I wanted to be in on what everyone was talking about. 50 minutes in, I'm like, where's the sex? Because every time they start making out, it just cuts. And then they're like in the elevator or in the car. And then like I finished the movie. I'm like, well, I don't know, maybe there's no sex in 50 Shades of Grey. Anyways, I text my friend, and she's like, where did you download it from? And I sent her the website where I legally streamed it on. She's like, babe, that's South Korean. There's no sex scenes allowed in South Korea, like in the theaters. So I was illegally streaming the, the sex scenes cut out from the movie without knowing. That was really disappointing. But yeah, that was my Priscilla experience. Anyways, packing. Okay, that's a whole other thing where it's like very divided. I used to be the hand luggage only person, and I have to say, it really gives you a God complex when you're walking out of the plane and everyone turns right or left, wherever. It's the luggage, like people waiting for the luggage, and you're just like walking past them like, I just packed hand luggage. That is a nice experience, but then once you get to the place, wherever you're going, and you have one shoe and one skirt and one pant, it is not so fun. And I like to, with packing and traveling in general, I like to really feel like myself wherever I am. I don't know about you, but you know, when you're getting to like, I don't know if this is very relatable, but you're getting to New York and or any city or anywhere, and all of the locals or people that live there are in their normal clothes, and you're just in your one outfit that you brought. That is so miserable. I also really believe in dressing well while you're traveling. I'm not like in my tight jeans on the plane for 14 hours, but something that really stuck with me in my like teenage years when I was traveling with my parents was like seeing especially American families or tourists. Like I was in Rome one time, and we were seeing like the most beautiful museums, and we're in the Vatican, and you could always see the American tourists like with their like having outfits on, like they're going for like a 14-hour hike, and then they're in the flight. Like, I don't know, I always feel like traveling, to me, like I want to dress nice and feel like myself. I also want to just sometimes sit in the cafe and do nothing. That's also what we did in Tokyo, just people watch and pretend to have like an ish quote unquote normal life where you're going. So I really like to have my outfits. I usually, when it's like over 6 days, I bring 2 suitcases. This is, I mean, you're realizing this is really Roman Empire for me. 2 suitcases, a big one. I travel with Ribova also. I'm a big Ribova advocate, not because of design necessarily, but because the wheels are good. Then that never feels heavy. You can roll them over any cobblestone and you'll be fine. I think that's such a big luxury. So you're not like, I don't know, it's not a struggle getting anywhere with your suitcases. Okay, big suitcase for clothes. And then I have a small like cabin suitcase, depending on its weight. If it's over 8 kilos, I check it in. And if it's under, then I bring it with me. And the small suitcase has shoes and handbags. Shoes and bags and outerwear, to me, are the most important part of an outfit. So you will see me in TSA in front of everyone having to take off my Antemühle Mr. boots, because obviously you carry the biggest, you have the most heaviest shoes on and not in the suitcase, which is a little bit embarrassing. And you know, these like super overachievers at the security at the airport, you know, like they look at you like, ugh, amateur, she never flies. But I am never going to see these people again at the airport that are judging me, but I will have nice shoots on, you know, in my vacation or travel. So I have those on, and then my biggest coat, and then a big handbag. And yeah, I like to have variety when I'm traveling. I think it's so nice to like feel like yourself on vacation. It also, the side effect is you're shopping less. I think a lot of people, I think especially people who are listening to this, you know, you love fashion, and all of us tend to get to a place, feel super inspired, and then buy everything, which is A, the wrong thing to do, you're wasting money, and B, just because it's a cool outfit for Tokyo doesn't mean you're gonna wear it at home. So I think not bringing clothes to a destination often leads you to overspending on like, oh my God, I don't have the right outfits while I'm there. So it really helps me spend less to bring a lot of clothes. And I understand if you fly certain airlines like a Ryanair or any budget airlines, it costs you a lot more to bring a suitcase. I really get it. I've been there, but by now in my position, I like to not overpack, but bring the right outfits. So how I do it is I spend at least 3 hours packing. Like the night before, or whenever I can squeeze in time, I try on my outfits, I take pictures. So for example, I was in Tokyo for 10 days and there's a burp. I'm so sorry. I feel like every episode I've burped so far. It's because I'm not used to talking so much. I'm not used to not having back talk. So I try on my outfits and I take pictures and I put them in an album, and it's called Outfits. And then when I'm on vacation or when I'm traveling or even at Fashion Week, I think I told you this before, but I have a folder on my phone. This sounds so anal, but it just saves you so much time. With outfits ready, I also bring accessories, different sunglasses, like all of the stuff is coming with me. I also bring my skincare. I don't feel like, I don't know, breaking my routine, not like regimented routine, but I don't feel like breaking my routine when I'm on vacation. Same with travel. You know, a lot of people are like eating a lot different while they're traveling. Obviously now I was in Japan, I was only eating Japanese food, but like I don't eat like trash when I'm somewhere else to not, you know, disturb digestion. Like I like to use my skincare routine, like all of the things that make me me, I like to bring them. So I have my big like cleanser. I don't like to use the hotel face wash and any of that stuff. I have my own toothpaste. I bring everything. Recently, I've been really into Dr. Steinkraus. It's my favorite skincare in the world. So I brought all of that. I can do a whole like skincare talk if you guys want me to. But yeah, that's my packing regime. I don't know. Yeah, I will do a whole Tokyo video if I unpack. You guys will have to hold me accountable. But yeah, I think especially, I don't know if you heard that from my last episode talking about Fashion Month, but I left feeling kind of uninspired. And I've been to Tokyo before, so it wasn't really surprising to me, and I will get into this in another episode, but seeing people so well dressed made me so happy, and I felt so inspired. And I also felt more inspired to dress up and put an effort into my outfits, and it was really, really fun. So I have come back with a lot of nice pieces that I want to incorporate into my wardrobe. But yeah, Paris left me a little bit uninspired, and I think when you're left feeling this way, or when I'm left feeling this way, plus I was like getting sick, and I don't know, sometimes it can just be a random flu, but I'm very superstitious with this kind of stuff. So I'm feeling sick. I got super sick in Paris. So all of these puzzle pieces led me to not like a crisis, but kind of, I have to sit down and reevaluate what I'm doing at Fashion Week, because, you know, I'm obsessed with also image and branding. And if something doesn't make me feel good, I really want to sit down and evaluate, okay, what am I doing at Fashion Weeks? Am I doing too much? I went to Paris this time for 10 days and I did men's and I did couture. So I'm thinking, should I be doing all of that? Because my biggest fear is ever losing my passion, because I know that people kill to be in the rooms that I'm in, so I don't want to take anything for granted. So the last week I really sat down and reflected, and I'm with fashion weeks, I'm also like, what is contributing to my image and what isn't, and what brands really get me the crazy paid jobs, and what makes me me and what makes me stand out. And is it the big commercial luxury brand, or is my value just, does it come from something else? So I am trying to figure out if maybe I just come for 2 days next time or 3 days, but then as soon as you're looking at the schedule, you're like, oh, I can't miss this, I can't miss this. So it is, I think a very interesting thing to think about. And branding wise, I don't know, it's something that's really important to me. And I think I'm on the right path most of the time. Like, for example, on TikTok, I see people tagging me and they're in their quote unquote Brenda hashtag era. And to me, it's crazy that the branding is so aligned that someone will see a certain outfit and think of me or think of quote unquote Brenda hashtag. So I think that's super cool. And then I feel like with Fashion Month or week, I don't know if that's interesting to you guys, or it seems like it's very self-obsessed, but this is my job, so it's very important to analyze all of these things. I also have a management analyzing all of these things. So for me, I'm really like, have I done too much, or am I aligning myself with the right brands? Am I diluting my image a little bit? So this is all like very Roman Empire to me. And that I got so sick after Paris, and also the week after Paris, I felt quite down, and I don't think I should be in the position to feel down after such a like luxurious experience. I don't know if I'm really making any sense, but I feel like I really have to evaluate what I'm doing, what shows I'm seeing. Like, for example, as the editor, I should be seeing all of the shows and be on the crazy tight schedule and be running around everywhere. But then as content creator, I don't think I should be doing that. So even I sometimes struggle is like an exaggeration, but I have to figure out the puzzle pieces and what I'm doing and where I'm going and how I'm showing up. And I find that all very interesting. One thing I love doing in the past 2 weeks is I started broadcasts on Instagram, which my relationship with Instagram is very tricky. Obviously, it's my main platform and I love it and I love my community there. But to be honest, I've never been in contact with really anyone from Instagram. And this is not like a pick me or like, oh my God, I'm shadow banned. I've never felt supported by Instagram, and I'm sure a lot of content creators feel the same way. I've never been in contact there with anyone. Of course, I have one contact in case I get hacked, or two. But I've never interacted with them in any way. I don't feel supported by them in any way. And with features on Instagram, I feel like the app itself, like they don't know what they're doing. I feel like it's very flaky, like launching IGTV and then it's gone again, and then they're doing subscriptions and then they're doing threads. It all feels very like they don't know what they're doing. So when broadcast was announced, and I really wanted to do the subscriptions thing, for example, because I don't know, I don't want the newsletter, like I don't want things to be on like 15 different apps. But then when I tried to sign up, I couldn't actually sign up from the country that I'm based in, Germany. I could only sign up with the US account, and then I would have, I don't know, it was like so difficult. Anyways, when they announced broadcast, I thought, for the first time, like this is actually something that seems fun. But I was watching it for a few months because, still, even now that I've started, I don't know if they're like keeping that, like I feel like Instagram is very, they don't know what they're doing. Anyway, so I started that because my one issue with community management, it sounds like such a cringe word, but I'm a little bit too close to my own product. I think I'm so outspoken and so like showing my character, but in the reality, I'm really not. This is the first like long format where I'm talking. So broadcast, I started that too. I started it during Fashion Week, and it was super fun for me to show, like to live post where I'm going and what I'm doing. Obviously, there's no back talk. I'm just talking to myself, and I can just see like emoji reactions. And one thing I would really like Instagram to do is like enable me to actually have a group chat where everyone can participate. Maybe it would be like too many notifications for everyone, but I just sometimes wish I could connect people with each other that follow me, because I think following me, at least for most people, it's certain signifiers of like, I'm interested in this type of design, this type of art, this type of fashion. So I feel like all of you guys would get along. I don't know, I would like a dating app for Brenda hashtag, you know, like I think it would be so cool because there's only me with my little tips and recommendations, but imagine if you could write in a Brenda hashtag. I know I should just have a Reddit, but I don't want to take care of any of that. Imagine if you could just write on the Brenda hashtag group chat on Instagram, like, I'm going to Amsterdam, what are the places you could recommend? And everyone's like, this restaurant, this museum, this archive store. It would be so cool. Or like actually dating. Anyways, so that is really kind of missing for me on social media, and I don't know what the perfect format is for this. I would really like some recommendations, but yeah, I don't really want to take it to another platform or make everyone else pay for it or make everyone else sign up for another, like for Patreon, for Reddit, for what's the thing that everyone's talking about? Anyways, so that I'm really struggling with, but broadcast, I'm really enjoying myself there. I think it's super fun. I don't know, I really switch with social medias and what I'm using the most. I am currently not so much in a TikTok phase. I don't know why. Maybe it's also that I finally have this format, the podcast. I'm really burping again. I'm so sorry. I chugged so much water also before this. Because of this format, I don't feel like the need to talk for 10 minutes on TikTok, which is the maximum amount of time that I can talk. So I feel like maybe that took me a little bit away from TikTok. I'm watching a little bit less. I don't know. Have you guys heard that TikTok sponsoring the Met Gala? Actually, I shouldn't call it Met Gala. The costume anyways, the exhibition of the Costume Institute of the Metropolitan Museum of Art, they are sponsoring it, which is kind of a slap in the face for Instagram. I don't know what Instagram is doing currently. Obviously, they're always doing the takeover at the Mark Hotel with certain content creators, but I think that's pretty much it. Anyways, what social media are you guys using at the moment? Sometimes I watch YouTube, but there's only a few creators that I watch, and I like to watch it while I'm doing something else. I'm currently not really listening to podcasts. Also with my own podcast, like I know that there is demand for me, right? From you, from this tiny niche audience. You are craving a little bit from me. I'm very sure of that. However, if I take away from just my audience, I don't know if there's demand for this type of content that I'm doing right now. Like, I'm speaking very slow. It's not a lot of gossip. It's not that much input. There's no guest. There's no hook. So I am a little I'm happy to do this for my audience, but I'm being very transparent here. I don't know if there's so much demand for the type of content that I'm doing. You know, I'm not screaming. I'm not overly funny. So that is one thing. And as I'm recording episode 3 right now, I haven't even announced that I'm doing this podcast. So I'm very interested to see what the feedback will be, you know, if this will branch out to other audiences or if this will stay. I'm happy either way, if this will be 100 listeners, core community, because they care a lot about me and are willing to listen to anything that I say. I don't know if I'm making sense, but I'm very interested to see where this podcast is going, because I don't really have a lot to compare this with, but I hope that this is just a chill listen to you and that it makes you feel calm. But just because I wish for this kind of content doesn't mean that someone else will. So that's very interesting to me. I think everyone social media wise is complaining, content creators at least, complaining about the same things right now. On Instagram it is reach. Less people are seeing your posts. I can also see that for myself. Core community is there, but Instagram isn't really pushing out my content to new audiences. I try not to worry about this kind of stuff. I also really feel like on social media at the moment, I'm really not the expert because I try not to look at what everyone else is doing. I think the only way to do things is to not overly plan them out. Since the last 2 years, and it's only really the last 2 years that my Instagram is growing again, I think it's due to the fact that I showed more character, which is, I don't know, for example, I don't follow a lot of people on Instagram, but I'm in the close friend story of a lot of people that I follow, and especially content creators. And on their close friend story, they are so fucking funny. And then if I go on their profiles, everything is so serious and so glamorous and so editorial. And I'm like, I wish you could show your audience your character. And I understand that's super scary because I think I said this in another episode, but I'm obviously making the surface of, the more I talk, I'm making the surface where you can attack me a lot bigger. But I really think in these times of social media, and I'm not the expert, but I really feel like if you show character and if you stay true to yourself, that is the only recipe. So I've been posting unedited content for the last 2 years. I think pretty much everyone else in like 2016, 2017 phase, I was in my Facetune era. I posted I got every post through like VSCO. Do you say VSCO or VSCO? To this app with filters and everything looked perfect. And I mean, maybe if you look at my Instagram now, it also seems like very glossy or planned out, but I just take the same like pictures of monotonous stuff. Like, no, monotonous is not the right word. Anyways, black and white stuff. And I feel like, yeah, I completely stopped editing. Like, I just post, and I also live post. I don't live post locations just for safety reasons, but I live post pretty much just say like any content that you see the same day. And it really gave me less anxiety about posting. I know a lot of people, especially influencers, have quote unquote posting anxiety, which means this, as when they stop uploading content for a few days, it gives them more pressure for the next post. And I completely abolished that by posting every day, and I don't even think about it. Like, I was, before going to Tokyo, which was my first real vacation in maybe years, my boyfriend was asking me like, are you not going to work? You know, because I said like, I'm so excited for this vacation. And I said, no, not working. And he was like, oh, so you're not posting? And I thought, oh my God, it's gotten this far that I don't even see Instagram as my work anymore, because I feel zero pressure from myself on there, zero pressure from my management. I just like uploading. Maybe it's also, maybe I have no boundaries. Like, maybe it's also a negative thing that I think of this as no work or not working. I just thought like, it's not sponsored posting, I'm just posting. I don't know. So that is a really nice observation for me, that I really enjoy social media, and I enjoy not editing things, and I enjoy feeling very spontaneous and free. And I love that my audience, you guys, is like happy with whatever breadcrumbs I'm throwing, whether it's an outfit picture or a shit post or a screenshot of my tweets. Yeah, I think for everyone, whether you're a creator or you're using your platforms as your portfolio, if something isn't fun anymore, you don't have to force yourself. I don't think, all the generations are all about endurance, but I don't think social media should be about just creating to keep things going. I think if something doesn't make you happy, the same way I always preach is like, you should unfollow people if their content makes you feel bad. And if it's close friends or someone that you can't, it's your sister-in-law and you can't unfollow, then you have to mute them everywhere. If someone makes you feel bad about your life, even if it's me, you should unfollow them. So I think, I don't know how I got into the social media ramble, but yeah, I realized for me it's super nice that I know that social media is no pressure for me, and that I'm having fun there, and that everything is like spontaneous and unedited. And I'm really happy that I got to this point, because I used to not be like this, and I used to also have posting anxiety. Anyways, that is that. I hope I will unpack, you guys. But unpacking is like this whole thing, because then like some of it is laundry, some of it is dry cleaning, some of it I have to hang up. Pray for me. Like, this is really a hard life that I'm living. Anyways, I hope everyone's doing well. And as soon as I unpack, I will do everything I bought in Tokyo. I bought such cool things, you guys. I'm very excited about this. And I've left very inspired. And yeah, I have a few weeks at home now. I'm going to be recording 2 more episodes at least, I think. And then I'm going to America, and I'm bringing Summer, my dog. She's not with me right now. I'm picking her up tomorrow. So excited to see her. Anyways, there's that. I hope everyone's doing well. I'm sorry for my burping. I hope you enjoyed Brand Awareness episode 3, and I love you. Bye.